Welcome to another episode of Coder Conversations with Kevin and TC. Man, how's it been going?
It's going. Just getting off work. Uh, how was your weekend?
Oh man, it never feels like it lasts long, man. You just chill out a little bit, go back to work.
Yeah,
What about
yeah.
yours?
It was cool. It was cool. I did a lot of things, away from the computer, which is cool.
Yeah.
I, like I mentioned, I just picked up a weight bench, so I've been I've been messing around with that, and just visiting some relatives I haven't seen in a minute. So that was pretty fun.
Yeah, man. It's important to exercise, like especially with all this remote work, you kind
Yeah,
of you kind of don't move a lot, you just
yeah.
wake up, go get in front of your work computer and get at it.
Wake up, sit down, get up after 8 hours, go sit down in front of a TV.
Yeah,
It's a lot of sitting. Even when you drive, right? You just walk in to
yeah.
go sit, and then yeah, it's yeah. I've noticed a lot more about myself because of work from home. Like, oh man, I sit a lot,
Yeah.
or like the way I sit is bad. Like my posture is bad, and like so
Oh yeah,
me as
man. Something I wanted to kind of talk about is, man, have you heard about like all these bodybuilders like just passing away? Mr. Olympia just passed away. I think his name was Sean Roden.
wow. No, I didn't know that.
And
Sean Roden.
have you ever heard of this YouTuber named Cali Muscle?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yo, he had a heart attack. Did you know that?
He did?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, check that
Cali
out, man.
Muscle. Oh, well then, yeah, looking at him, yeah, bodybuilder Cali Muscle says God is using me as an example as he suffers heart attack. Wow. After Sean Roden's death. Man.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Wow. I almost died. Also has been seen speaking clearly but struggling to hold back tears after mentioning Roden's name. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. I actually like Cali Muscle's content, man. It's like just like a good dude, like laid back,
Yeah.
not causing
Yeah.
drama. But to me,
Yeah.
it kind of makes you think, man, like what looks healthy on the surface, like okay, he got big muscles.
Yeah.
He's serious about bodybuilding. He must be healthy.
Yeah.
It's not really like that.
Yeah, because it's all about like I'm no food expert. I'm no nutritionist or like body expert, but I feel like there's there's like this ideal like there's the not ideal, but it's like there's an extreme that you can go to, and I feel like a lot
Yeah,
of bodybuilders that go like they only look at that extreme and say, okay, I got to get to that point. But what if your ideal BMI, your ideal form or figure, I guess you could say, is not nearly that complicated. So
right.
um, yeah,
And to kind of like look like that, they got to eat a ton of food, like a ton of protein. So
yeah,
that's putting stress on their heart. They're carrying a lot of weight.
yeah,
They're taking a lot of different chemical compounds. Like honestly, to get that big, you might have to take steroids
right,
sometimes.
right,
And on top of that, they also have those pre-workouts where,
yeah,
it's a ton of caffeine to kind of get you jolted to work
yeah,
up. So
yeah,
all of that together, that's putting a lot of stress on your heart.
yeah. There was a speaking of pre-workout, I remember hearing about this one TikTok challenge where they call it dry scooping. So instead of
Mhm.
like you're supposed to mix the pre-workout with water or whatever,
Right.
but they would TikTokers would take the scoops of protein and just eat it like
Oh,
directly without mixing it with water. And this one girl, I don't think she ate the whole tub or something like that, but she ate like so much of it that they ended up calling the 911 for her.
yeah.
And it's just like it people play around with these supplements, but you gotta be smart. You gotta be smart with
Right.
it, right? Like if it says take water, like don't take one glass, like take two. Like you gotta flush that stuff out of your system.
Right. You know what I
Yeah.
kind of thought about, man? Like we have so much entertainment in our society. It's like we gotta find more and more extreme versions of entertainment, and
Right.
it's for those people to entertain us, they're literally like shortening their lifespans, almost killing themselves.
Yeah, yeah. There's this one dude, Nikocado Avocado. He does like mukbangs. He like
Okay.
he eats like just piles and piles of food, and like it's affected his body, right? Where like
Right.
there's 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 like pictures of him when he first started. He was like a vegan or whatever, and
Mm.
then now he's no longer a vegan, but he's gained like so much weight because of the mukbangs and everything else. And it's not just like physical, right? It's
Mm.
funny because like your physical appearance can change like how you think, like like your self esteem and how you think, and it's just it's a lot. It's a lot.
Have you heard of that dude named Badland Chugs? Like he'll have like 2 liters of cola or whatever. He'll pour it
Oh,
in a cup and he'll drink it.
yeah.
Like,
I think I've
dude, like,
seen him.
like how are you still alive after doing that? You know?
Yeah. And there's a Korean dude. I think he's similar to that, but he shotguns like beers and stuff. Um, yeah. I don't know, man. The internet. I think the internet is what is it? They say cloud's dangerous. Like people do
Yeah, yeah,
anything for those views and those likes and that interaction and engagement, and then when you monetize it on top of that, it's even worse because you're making money. You, Kevin, you there? Kevin, you all right? Okay, you back?
yeah, yeah. Just I don't know what's
Okay,
happened. The thing
I
just
don't know
cut
what
out.
happened.
But yeah, what was you
Um,
saying?
no, I was just saying that I was just saying that when you monetize these videos, right? Like
Right.
you're getting money for the stuff that you're doing. Like look at like Mr. Beast channel and like all these
Yeah,
other
yeah.
YouTubers, right? Like they do all these extreme things, and they make money off of it, and then that sort of reinforces the idea like I need to keep doing these extreme things to
Mm,
make that kind of money, and it's almost like a negative feedback loop. Like okay, like
right.
keep doing this, make X amount of dollars, and then if you put like a if you buy a house using your this money right from doing these things, then you have to upkeep that lifestyle,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so
Kind of
it's
trash.
yeah, it traps you. It traps you.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
what do you think about the people that's like constantly watching this? Like every time you're on some social media, like everything is extreme, extreme, extreme. Like guy eating 10 hamburgers,
Yeah,
this guy drinking 2 gallons of soda. Like
yeah. Uh, you at a certain point. Oh, oh,
kind of
what
cut out
happened?
again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, that was weird. But no, like you get desensitized to it. You like you said, you got to do more and more extreme things, right? Like
right.
to just to get that same, I guess, enjoyment out of it, right? Like no one's gonna watch after somebody's seen, oh, he ate 5 hamburgers. Like okay, well, I want to see him eat 10 hamburgers. I want to see
Yeah,
him eat,
yeah.
the whole McDonald's menu. Like I want to see him eat
Oh man.
like whatever. It's just it's too much, right?
Right.
You gotta unplug. You gotta unplug after a while.
Yeah, like if you've built your life like if you built your lifestyle on making videos of you doing extreme things, like how do you get out of that? You know?
It's
Like
hard. It's hard. It's hard, man. It's like fast money. When you start making fast money and that's your lifestyle, and you try to get out, it ain't easy. I
right.
can't see it being easy.
And like one way that people try to make, money that they're not really qualified for is like, cheating on coding
Mm,
exams and things of that.
yeah. Yeah. They see the figures. They see, oh, 6 figures, 4 years of experience, 6 figures. I got to know TypeScript and JavaScript and what is it? Elasticsearch and all that. They see all this
Mhm.
stuff and they say, okay, well, let me just fake my resume, right? Like, or
Right.
fake a LinkedIn profile. Yeah, man, you don't want to do that. Like, I don't know, what was it? I was studying for. I got an interview tomorrow, so I'm studying for it now. I'm studying for it today, and there's a video that came up that said like, uh, interview gone wrong, caught cheating. And this
Right.
guy was getting asked questions like, okay, do you know about Clojure? What's Clojure? Do you know about like just general JavaScript
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
stuff to quiz him? And you could hear him like typing, like you could hear his fingers on the keys, like
Right.
typing, like
Yeah. Yeah.
looking up, like, okay, yeah, yes, Clojure is this, and async await is yes, it's the like he was like stammering, trying to like make it
Right.
sound natural, but yeah, like at the end, the guy was like, how many years of experience do you have? And like, you should know this stuff. You should know at least the basics, right?
Right. Right. Man, that's kind of like why they make a lot of these companies. They make you take they do like a live coding exam, and you have to have the
Yep.
webcam on you because
Yep.
some people would get somebody else to take the exam
Yep.
for them.
Yep. Yeah, man. Yeah. It's not worth it. Because even if you, let's say, even if you did get the position, right? Say you passed with flying colors, you cheated, you made your way in.
Right.
Like, what are you gonna do when you get the job?
Yeah, you're gonna get exposed on the job.
Yeah, like they're gonna give you a task and say, okay, have this task done. Here's your deadline, get it done, and you're just gonna be in the hot seat and you're gonna be stressed.
Exactly. Man,
You know, it's not. Go
oh
ahead.
yeah, go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say, like, people take the cheating like even further beyond it. They take it on the job. Like they'll get a job, but they'll contract their work out to, like maybe developers overseas or something.
Look, I've never heard of that. I've only heard of like Googling answers constantly, or like I think I heard one time this dude he said
I think like
he
how they caught him
said
was. Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like they caught him because like you know he was working remote, right? But
Yeah,
like they noticed like I guess some of the check-ins of the code was like a Chinese time zone or something.
he said it was a Chinese
And you
code.
know what I mean? Like a Chinese time zone, like I guess the timestamp, like when you check your work in, like, okay, say for example, they probably logged into his Git or his work and like a timestamp on there, you know what I mean?
Hold
And I
on.
think it was like am I freezing?
Yeah, you're freezing.
Oh,
Um, yeah,
let me know, Mike.
you good now?
Yeah, yeah. I can hear you.
Okay, all right. Um, wait. Okay, you're good now.
Let's see. But yeah, I was just saying, like, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I think they started looking at some of his check-ins and it showed like, these weird timestamps.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think they were seeing it like it was like the Chinese time zone or something. Or, like just somehow they
right,
deciphered that it was coming from overseas.
right. It's like if you were working, like if everybody works in Pacific Standard Time, right?
Right.
But then,
Like it's like, like you're checking in code at like 3 a.m. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's like, and I'm pretty sure he said, okay, here's a password to my account. When y'all do the work.
I'll pay you 25%.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've had people that were from like those countries, like say, hey,
Yeah.
We can work together. Like we can outsource the work, or you can outsource the work to me.
Was it Upwork?
And was it what?
Did they want to use your Upwork account, like on LinkedIn?
Yeah. They wanted to use
Yeah.
Upwork and like and like at first, I think this was before I got an actual like gig. Now I don't get it as much, but like before it was like yeah, we can use Upwork and make an account, and he had this whole system like figured out, and I was like, nah, I'm okay.
Right.
That sounds fishy. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that was illegal too.
Is it?
I
Yeah. I
think
mean, it
so.
doesn't sound legal.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just kind of crazy, man. Like,
It's
just I don't know, man.
people trying to make a way. They're trying to make a
Yeah,
way. Like I get it. It's a hustle, right? You're trying to make
yeah,
something happen, and like I can't imagine what life is like over there.
right,
You know, for you to sort of decide like, okay, this is my hustle. This is the only way out, or this is the only way to survive. Um, but yeah, man, it's crazy, right? Like if you want to like lie and cheat, to get there, it's not gonna feel like you earned it.
right.
I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like you go to
You
the
cheating.
gym and
Yeah,
you have like, okay, you put weight on the bar, and then you know you you have a machine that just sort of lifts up the bar as you
yeah,
push up, right? And
yeah.
it lifts up 70% of the bar. Like you're not actually lifting the weight yourself.
Right.
The rest of it's being done for you,
I think,
right?
certain people are just motivated by the money. Like they don't care about that feeling of doing things right or the feeling of accomplishing. They just like, well, it's a hustle. Let me, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like when
right.
the
They don't want to go.
PPP thing was out there, people was
Mhm.
like taking advantage of that.
Yeah, yeah. But most of those people got caught. Most of those
Right,
people got caught. Not everybody. Not that I know of. But I'm sure. Uh, you know, people see free and they want to take advantage of it. And
right.
I think that what goes around comes around, right?
Yeah,
Like what is it? My grandma used to say like whatever comes fast goes fast. And
yeah,
so like you know it's just not. I don't know. It's something about like actually putting in the work on a project and then delivering it and then getting
right,
paid to like in as a reward. You reinforce that struggle, that whole experience, and it just pays. It just pays better, I guess you could
yeah,
say. Like morally, it pays better. Like I don't have to worry. I don't have to go to bed thinking like, okay, I'm going to submit this task to some dude overseas and hope he just gets it done for me by
right,
the, because if that person didn't have it done by the AM, what am I going to do?
right.
Right? Like
It kind of creates a cycle. Like you have to lie and oh well,
Mhm.
I still
Yeah,
need a little more time.
yeah, right, exactly. But like if I don't know it, like what was it? My last interview, I didn't know this one thing that this guy was asking me about like version control, and I was like,
Yeah,
you know what? I don't know. And I'd rather say I don't know than like try to beat around the bush and be like, okay, well, maybe,
yeah. You're
like,
making stuff up. Yeah,
yeah, like making stuff up. Like, I feel like honesty is the best policy.
right. Yeah,
Like,
either the job's gonna be for you or it's not. Like if you don't know what they're asking and
yeah,
they don't want to hire you, there's another job that will,
yeah,
or this way you can
or
step your game up.
yeah, or even like not even like let's not even talk like technical. Like, just be honest with like
Yeah,
yourself, right? Like, like, and take care of yourself too, right? Like that's the purest form of honesty. Like there's some mornings that I'm not gonna lie. Was it? I wake up around like 6 or so, and then I go run, and then I come home, and then I work out, right? And I'm not trying to be like, oh, look at me, blah blah blah. This is what I do. This is my morning routine. But there's definitely days where I'm just like, I don't want to do this. I
right.
despise this. Like the alarm goes off, and I'm just like shut, like just be quiet. Like
Yeah,
the an hour, one more hour, 30 more minutes, whatever. But it feels good to like drag yourself out of bed and just go and do it. Like when you like once you get past that whole like I don't want to do this, you feel good about it.
right,
And like just taking that extra time to take care of yourself, like whether it's the way you dress or just being honest with yourself and be like, you know what, like even though I might not like this, I'm gonna do this one thing. Or even though I don't like this situation that I'm in because I'm uncomfortable, like I'm gonna do it anyway, just to shake
right.
that feeling of being uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. People like they don't realize like even like how you dress that has a huge effect on how people treat you. Like go to the mall and go to like a store like, you know, Macy's or Dillard's and dress up a little bit. And I bet you're going to get way different treatment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I've had people that normally look like they wouldn't have talked to me. You know, they started a conversation with me because you know, I was in the suit section looking for a suit.
Right.
You know.
Right. And it's like it's all about, like, you could be bald, you could have a ton of hair, you could be short, you could be tall. It's all about like taking the extra time to take care of yourself, right? If you have a lot of acne, like look up a skincare routine,
Right.
and then you know, take care of your your nails, and like you're like making sure you brush your teeth. And because with work, I find that with work from home, there's no reason for me to do a lot of the things that I would do when I used to commute to the job, right? Like I could wake up, be in my PJs, and just have the camera pointing like shirt up, and then like and you know, just like I don't have to, you can't smell my breath from here, right? Like you can't smell me. Like I could just be lazy. It can be nasty, right? But that's gonna reflect, right? Like whether you realize it or not, like that lack of self-care is gonna reflect on like whether it's the people that you see on the screen or like just people around you. Like they're gonna notice, like, okay, that person, he didn't take a shower, he didn't brush his teeth or whatever. Like it's just
you end up feeling like, you know, that person end up feeling nasty, like, you know, they're not gonna have confidence because they know they took all these shortcuts. So
right, or lack thereof, I guess they just didn't move at all. Yeah, man.
But like, how has your dress style changed over time? You know, like
I used to be that guy that didn't. I used to be that lazy guy that didn't care about how he dressed, didn't iron his clothes. I think I had like one pair of shoes for a really long time, or a couple pair. I'm not like one only, but like just like one pair of shoe that I would wear like consistently, right? Like my Navys. But then I never really bothered to look at like matching, like learning color, you know, matching colors and matching styles and stuff like that. And but now, like I think in the most recent years, about 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 4 now, I just went to like H&M, right? I went to H&M, and I just like went to just the basic section. I went online through, there's a subreddit called Male Fashion Advice, and I just learned, like I looked at their guides and I sort of said, okay, what kind of style do I like, and what kind of style fit me, right? And so you because you might like a style, but it might not fit you. You know what I mean? Like I might like certain styles, but if I see myself dressing in it, if I go to the store and I try something on and I think, okay, maybe do I look good? I'm a little all over the place, but to answer the question, ideally, I started off as the guy who didn't really care about the way that he dressed and how he appeared to other people. But over time, especially now that I have a full-time job, how I dress now is like I try to dress to impress. Meaning, like, I don't see myself as just representing myself. I'm representing somebody else in the company. I'm representing a CEO, or a CTO, or whoever. Like if I'm a part of a team, then I represent, you know, a choice of the team lead, and then that choice also falls onto another higher up somewhere down the line because they signed off on hiring me. So the way I see it now is like I'd rather dress in the 9s and 10s and overdo it than underdo it and appear sloppy.
I mean, like, you know, if you're going out to buy a house, for example, like, would you really buy a house, or, you know, like you're going with a real estate agent or whatever, you know, would you really trust their judgment if they're like all musty and you know, shoes beat up,
Yeah,
hair
yeah,
was
yeah.
unmade, you know, like
Right. Yeah.
pe-
Yeah.
uh, it's crazy, but people perceive you as more trustworthy when you're well put together. Like, oh, this guy, he looks like a real professional.
Yeah. They there's a there's this analogy that was like, would you trust a fisherman to teach you how to fish if he doesn't have a boat?
Right.
And whenever I hear somebody's advice, I always think about that quote. It's like, okay, well, does this person have the results that I'm looking for? Like, should I like what factors can I see visually that say, okay, this person's advice is real, is like
Yeah.
truthful.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I think that if you if you look at things in that perspective, it'll sort of help you clear the path of like the BS that's out there. Like,
Yeah.
but how has your fashion changed? It hasn't
Uh,
changed.
yeah, man. I used to, I really didn't used to care about dressing up. Like when I had my first coding job,
Mm-hmm.
like I used to joke with Brian, like sometimes we would go into the office not caring, like I would just
Yeah.
go in there with like a sweatpants and
Yeah.
like a just a regular t-shirt. Like and this was the office was located in like a Bank of America building, so like we had like a law office to the next of us, so I could be
Oh my God. You could be next to a dude suited
like
and booted.
yeah. It's like, well, what is this dude doing here?
Like, hello, do
So
you work here? Like,
right, exactly. So, but a lot of it, I started upgrading my style once I started making money. It's like
right.
when you from making like $11 an hour, it's like I don't think I want to spend my money on
Yeah.
shoes and all of
Yeah.
this kind of stuff. But when you start, really making decent money,
Yeah.
then it's like, okay, yeah, at a point I started kind of going overboard, and now I'm
Yeah.
having to trim it back. Like I don't know if you ever heard like Belvedere shoes. It's kind of like
Velvet shoes.
you might want you can look it up on like ostrich or alligators, like those kind of shoes.
Oh, 130, $500. Whoa.
Yeah, yeah, I got a few pairs of them, man. So I kind of
This
went
dude.
overboard a little bit.
Okay. But no,
So,
yeah.
yeah. Now it's kind of about finding that middle ground. Like I don't want to be spending like $700 for some shoes, but
Yeah. But no, I think it's if what am I saying? If you're making six figures or whatever, right? You should invest it in yourself. You
right.
shouldn't like don't slack on your health or don't slack on your appearance just to save a couple of dollars.
Yeah,
Or
you know what's interesting? Like, have you ever scrolled on LinkedIn? The post that have like 5,000 likes, and it's a girl like a tight dress, but it's like a professional looking dress, like dressing well. It gets you attention.
yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if it'll work for a dude. Like if I'm in a suit or something,
If you
am I
suited,
am I gonna get
maybe
1,000 likes? But
maybe
maybe.
if you took a picture with the girl, if you're suited and she's with you, then maybe you'll get the same amount of likes. But it'll probably
Right.
just be for the girl. Man.
Yeah, it might not work like that for me. So, but I think like, well, how do you feel like coders should dress though? Like, what's a good like middle ground? Obviously you don't want to,
um,
you know, a professional coder ain't necessarily in a tie and suit and all of that.
yeah, yeah. I'm not saying you got to dress in a tie and a suit, but I do think that like there's appropriate things that you should wear to work, right? I think I came into work with a do-rag once, and my boss pulls me aside and he's like, "What are you doing?"
Right.
I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he's just like, "You look sloppy." And from that
Um,
day forward, I was like, "Wow!" Like those words like really resonate with me. It's like, "Wow, you
right.
look sloppy." And so from that point forward, I was like, "You know what? Let me just actually like just be more mindful."
Yeah.
Right? It's almost like you can it's easy to get comfortable, right, and slide into
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
comfortable role. Like, okay, here's my job. You know, I'm doing my thing 9 to 5. Doesn't matter what I dress like, but as long as I get my work done, right? But again, like I just come back to the whole thing. Like, you represent you're representing a company, even if you're freelancing, right, for yourself.
Right.
If you're representing something, I would say, like,
But like,
at least
was it just
be somewhat presentable. Like, iron your clothes.
was it just a do rag, or was you like kind of like
It was
everything was?
do-rag. I had some sandals on, some jeans, and a graphic t-shirt.
Oh man.
And so, yeah, it was like a lot of it. It was, I think if I stopped at the graphic t-shirt and the jeans, I would have been all right.
Okay, with the
But
sandals.
I think the sandals plus do-rag combination was just too much. And I think
Right, right.
and so, like, there's a lot of trial and error, right? And I just think that, like, everybody's different, right? Everybody knows how they prefer to dress and what they
Right.
should wear and stuff. And I think if you're a developer listening to this and you're making some amount of cash, set some aside to actually invest into yourself. There's a lot of services out nowadays, like Stitch Fit
Mhm.
and other places, right? That try to come up with a guide on, like, okay, what like, they'll ask you like a questionnaire, like, what kind of shirts do you like, what kind of pants do you like, what kind of shoes do you like, and then they'll
Right.
try to come up with outfits that you can buy.
Right. Right.
And maybe you don't want to take that route, right? But if you like, if you don't want to take that route, there's also the route of, like, taking somebody who does know fashion, if you do know a
Yeah.
person, right, and going to the store with them and saying, okay, what do you think about this, and what do you think about that? I did that with my uncle, and I've done that with girls that I've dated in the past, and that sort of helped me get to where I am now, where, like, if I'm going to go out, I've got an idea of different outfits and stuff that I can throw together nowadays. But it was a skill that I had to learn, and, like, to be able to say, like, that shirt doesn't go with those pants,
Right.
those shoes don't go with those shorts or whatever, right? So, yeah, man, like, there's so many resources out there nowadays. You just got to sort of Google it and look them up online.
So
And
like, what's been the difference in reaction that you've gotten once you like stepped it up versus you
um,
just kind of?
oh man, once I stepped it up, or like once I got, like, the benefit of, like, working at a company, right, is there's a lot of different people, and they see you every day or whatever. And so when you change it up a little bit, right, they'll notice. And I've gotten
Yeah. Yeah.
compliments like, "Oh my gosh, those are nice shoes," or, I like your outfit today," or just sort of, instead of me having to always, like, reach out and say hi, I
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
get those smiles, and I would get those, "Hey, how's it going?" Or
Yeah. Yeah.
um, you sort of, uh, you give off this vibe that
Yeah.
makes people want to talk to you.
Yeah.
and
People
and
like
I
the
feel,
women, you know.
yeah, and I feel like that's really important as a developer, right? Because we're always just, like, in our heads, and we're always, like, for me, I have, like, they call it resting bitch face. So, like, when I'm coding or whatever, I'm just, like, stone faced, like,
Yeah.
I don't show any emotion. Like, at some points, people would ask me, like, "Are you okay? You look mad. You look sad. You look this. You look that." But, like, in reality, I got a lot going on up here that I'm trying to figure out, like, in the matrix, like, as I like to call it. So, um, yeah, man, like, actually dressing nice does give you, people treat you differently when you
Right.
dress a certain way versus just kind
Yeah.
of slapping anything together.
Like look at the higher ups of any company. They don't come in with like like do rags and
Yeah, yeah, man, yeah,
they don't look like trash. So if you want to get
yeah,
up there, you
yeah,
gotta invest in yourself.
yeah. That's the big one, man. That's the big one.
Colognes, like your scent too. That's another big one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's an expensive one. That's an
Right.
expensive one
Yeah, it
too.
can get expensive. You know,
Yeah.
like
Uh,
if you smell good, people want to be around you versus you smelling sour.
yeah. 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 Exactly. Yep.
Do
Yeah.
you use regular deodorant or use like natural deodorant?
I use regular deodorant just because I've tried. I I don't know what it is, but like personally, like I sweat a lot, and I think it's because of
Mm.
a lot of the caffeine that I take in, and like unfortunately, like natural colognes don't work. I mean, natural deodorants don't work because they don't
Okay.
have the
What?
what's it? There's some chemical that they remove, the antiperspirant. I think
Yeah,
it'll
yeah,
have
yeah.
that, and then yeah, I'll if I use the non if I use a non chemical like a natural deodorant, I would
Yeah.
sweat that out. No, I would sweat that out immediately.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had to move over to natural because I was using like the antiperspirant, and I noticed like a purple lump under my arm.
Whoa!
So, yeah, it was like my lymph nodes swelling up.
Wow.
So once
Hmm.
once I stopped using it, it went away.
Goes
So
away. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. I've never heard of that.
yeah, yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. I thought it was like yeah, real
Yeah.
concerned when I
Yeah.
had it. So
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think as developers, we need to take care of our health. Like
yeah,
not even just like physical, like mental too, right?
yeah,
I used to meditate a lot, and I really need to get back into it. But I find that like meditation in the morning and like writing down like things that you're grateful for, like but for me personally, like that just puts everything into perspective, right? Like there could be a
yeah,
super stressful day where I'm just like, I don't want to go in today. I don't want to log in. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to like, I just, I'm just this, I'm just this negative asshole. I guess you could say like, I'm just this dude that's just like, I don't want to, I'm just I guess is the emotion that I'm just radiating for like hours. But like with meditation and like reflecting, right? Like it's led me to uh like to almost recognize those feelings way before I get into that slump. And by recognizing that and sort of processing it allows me to process things a lot easier versus sort of internalizing it. Because personally, like for a long time, I would internalize things like rejection and like especially rejection, and if something bad happened to me, like that would ruin my whole day. I don't know if you
right.
ever experienced that. Like, have you ever experienced something like that?
Well, like rejection ruining your day and all of
Or something just ruins your whole day, and you just can't get past it.
that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's happened before. Like for me, I'll say like prayer and maybe reading the Bible and try to
Yeah,
that kind of keeps me more so. Like the Bible literally says you have to learn to be content.
yeah,
Meaning it's like a process. You know what I mean? Like you don't just come out the gate being like to think about it. Think about it like this. Like technically, we're not the richest guys in terms of so-called money, but
right.
we live better than 99% of kings throughout history. Like
Yeah, that's
they
a
didn't
good
have
way to put
refrigeration. You know what I mean?
it. Yeah, or the internet. Yeah,
And you know what kind of blew my mind? I seen a dude with no legs. His
mm,
whole lower torso was missing, but he still had a happy outlook on life. Like, how much worse can it get than that? And
yeah,
he's happy. So, like, what are we unhappy about? Like,
yeah.
somebody said a little mean thing to us or something. Like,
Yeah, somebody left a mean comment. Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah,
so yeah, like you say, I think it's like context. Like when you sit back, you see the context of like, okay, this person it says something nasty, but why am I tripping over it? Like
yeah,
everything else is like great. I'm not gonna give
yeah,
them control over me.
yeah. And I think you have to also take into consideration, like, maybe that person is just having a poor
Yeah.
day, right? And they wanna bring you down to their level,
Right.
right? And like you can't take that personal, right? And especially if people see that you have something that they don't, and they're jealous of that.
Yeah.
Um,
Man,
it's just you
that's pretty
gotta,
big in the black community, man. You gotta be careful about shining too much because
yeah,
people start getting jealous.
yeah,
Like they start
yeah,
hating.
yeah. That's why like I call it like Clark Kent and Superman, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There's there's Clark Kent. They don't know he's Superman, and then Superman just comes out every once in a while, does this thing, and then goes away. So
Yeah.
like, what is it? Like, you know, I can get suited and booted and have like flashy outfits, but that's not my daily dress,
Right,
right?
right.
Like I'll dress that way for like a wedding or like a party or whatever, but
Mm.
it's not like I'm trying to show off, right? If
Yeah, yeah.
everybody else is suited and booted, then I'll do it. But if
Right,
not,
right.
I'm not gonna show up to an event, dressed in the nines, and everybody else
Yeah.
is sort of like business casual, right?
Right,
Because I'm not trying to show off, but you
right.
know, you can't control that though. You can't
Yeah.
control how people respond.
You got to kind of, like you say, do things with discretion. Like you can't have all of these flashy jewelry, and you go into a place where people don't have anything. You probably can get
Yeah.
robbed.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, that's definitely a thing, man. Like,
I know, especially out in LA. I heard like a lot of these celebs or these rappers, they might have a house out there and they end up getting robbed. Or like think about Pop
yeah,
Smoke. I don't know if you heard of him.
yeah, I heard of Pop Smoke. What happened to him?
I think it was like on Instagram, and
Oh, he's the guy that got shot, right? The one
yeah,
that
yeah,
he leaked
they
his
killed
what, your
him.
address? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. They got his address off of something that he
yeah,
did on Instagram, and they
yeah,
went to rob him,
yep,
and they ended up killing him. So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
man,
it's good to shine, but not too much. You got to kind of
yeah.
do things in moderation.
But it goes back to that whole like doing things for clout, right? There's
Yeah,
no reason to
yeah,
share. There's no reason to post those things on social media. I get
right.
it, right? Like you want to share with other people and stuff, right? But then when people know so much about you,
Yeah,
like then it almost it can become negative, right? It
yeah,
has the potential to turn that way. I'm not saying like it'll always happen, but you you got to be careful how much you share with people,
yeah.
because like once you share, oh, I got this new car, oh, okay, I got this
Mhm.
new house, oh, okay, uh i'm I'm visiting Starbucks in LA, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
All those pieces of information, somebody could piece all that together and find
yeah.
out your pattern and find out where you live. And I know we're getting into like conspiracy theory land, but like it's
No,
just,
it's not.
if people wanted to really figure out like, okay, this influencer is in LA, he goes to this Starbucks, he
Right.
drives this car, like the more information that you give, the more information that somebody can easily just try to sort of digest and say, okay, they live here, they do
Yeah,
this, they do that, blah blah blah, and I'm gonna go find them, and then you get stalkers.
yeah. This is like what you're saying is not even conspiracy. Like these rappers, they do the thing with the money phone.
Yeah,
Or have big bands in their pockets, and then they'll go. They're known for carrying around big amounts of cash.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you pull up to a McDonald's somewhere and it shows your location. You don't think somebody's gonna think about pulling up and taking that
yeah,
off of you?
yeah,
Like that's not even
yeah,
conspiracy. That's just basic like common sense. Like
yeah. You gotta be smart. You gotta be
like
smart. But
there- there's a reason bank trucks are armored. There's a
yeah,
reason.
yeah, yeah, man. But then, do you? Oh, so let me say this. This just popped in my mind. How do you feel about financial classes? Right, like I've never had six figures before, right? But let's say I break six figures in 2022, right? I'm putting it out there in the universe, hoping that the universe will listen. But like my whole thing is like this. I've never had that type of money. But as a developer, I have the potential to make that type of money. If I was to somehow one day acquire a job, get that kind of money, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. Could I go out and get a new car? Sure. Could I go out and buy like 10 pairs of J's? Sure.
Right.
Could I go out and buy a bunch of followers on Instagram and just I could just wild out, right?
Yeah.
And do you think that like as a developer or as people, I guess in general, not even as devs, as people, should we do you think there's a what's the word I'm looking for? Do you think there's a point to try and learn financial investments and
I mean, honestly,
learning
man,
how to like
you'd be crazy not to take it. You know, when I say like it's not necessarily taking a class, but finding some way of educating yourself. Like, you know, you could read a book, go on Udemy or something.
Yeah.
You got to be careful about the class you take too, though. You don't want to fall for like one of those multi-level marketing schemes, like, oh, here's financial freedom.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, like a Prime America type of thing. Like,
yeah. my brother was a part of that.
Oh, yeah, so I was too for a little bit.
Yeah, he tried to get me, and I was like, "Nah, I want to be a developer." And he's like, "No,
Right.
this is the easy way for financial freedom." I'm like, "Nah, something doesn't feel right."
Yeah. So yeah, you know, go to Amazon and look up like legitimate sources, like who are guys that are like successful with money. Research them, like you know. But it makes sense. Like, you know, if you go to church, a good pastor is going to tell you read the Bible and look at it for yourself, because anybody can tell you. Like, how many of these athletes have gone broke from their financial advisors, stealing millions and millions?
Right.
Like even Tim Duncan, you know what I mean? His financial advisor stole a ton of money from him. Clinton Portis, I think Terrell Owens, all of these guys had accountants, financial advisors, just taking years worth of their work.
Yeah.
So you don't want to leave that up to somebody else. You know, you may hire a specialist for a certain role. Like, you know, can you give me a little advice on this? But ultimately, I'm gonna be the one making the decision.
Yeah.
And you can only make a good decision if you're educated and you have the information.
Right. No, you're not. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. And I think like in the African American community, like that's prime number one.
Yeah.
That's primary objective number one, right? Because a lot of people, and I'm specifically looking at the African American community with a microscope, just because that's my
which is familiar.
That's what I'm more familiar with. But at least something that I heard from my grandmother, and I'm not sure if this is true or not, but like a lot of other ethnic people get a lot of other races get an upper hand because they're so tightly connected together.
Yeah.
And they all lift each other up. Versus you look at, you know, the African American community, and you shine, like you said, you shine too bright, and it's like a crab in the bucket mentality.
Yeah.
They talk bad about you, or they want to pull you down, or they say something will never work, and I'm not saying like that those type of people don't exist in other communities. Sure, right? Like it's human nature to be jealous and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, like, from what I've seen, there appears to be more camaraderie in other communities versus our community, where things are like, okay, well, I'm gonna just pull him down. Like, there's definitely times where people will say, "Oh, you think you're so smart? Oh, you think you know everything?" Or "Oh, this." And I never understood it, and so growing up, that sort of perpetuated a cycle of me just sort of not saying anything. And
like, have you ever heard of, like, you know, like maybe a rapper or something say talk about stories like, "Oh, I moved out the hood," and people start saying, "Oh, he moved out the hood. He too good for us."
Right.
He don't come back to the hood.
Yeah.
Like what other community, you know, can you think of that has to live back in the hood. Like, if a white guy moves out the trailer park or something,
Right.
I don't hear anybody saying, "Oh man, he left the trailer park. He's too
Right.
good for it." They
Yeah.
congratulate him. Like, "Oh
Yeah.
man, he made it. Great job."
Yeah.
And that's what we have to have more of in our community. Like, congratulate success.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
when you start congratulating success, that successful person is a lot more likely to help you. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
think about this. If you're a multimillionaire, are you more likely to help the guy that says, "Hey man, you did a great job. I'm proud of you for making it out. Like, how did you do it?" Or are you going to
Yeah.
help the guy that, man, yeah, you think you're too good? He try to
Yeah.
rob you and steal from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I get it. Like everybody's like there's a saying like keep your enemies close, like, keep your friends close and your enemies closer, right? Everybody's got a Judas. So
yeah,
like and I'm not saying you got to be fearful of the people that are around you, but I'm saying you have to be smart about the information that you give out to certain people.
right,
And the point I was trying to make about the whole POC communities is that there's just this support system, right?
right,
That like you said, just that is just different. I don't know how to explain it. It's different than just either trying to get you to succeed so they can leech off of you, or um, or just sort of gaslighting you to the idea of, oh yeah, sure, you're going to be successful, blah 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 blah, whatever, and then once you get there, then they want something from you, right? They just
right.
used you, they just rode your coattails to sort of get to that point to help support their lifestyle and what they want, or
Yeah,
yeah,
like at a certain point, you just gotta let people know, like, you're a grown man, you're a grown one. I'm not your daddy. You know what I mean? I'm
yeah,
not gonna give you money. I'll give
right,
you an opportunity. I'll help you find an opportunity. But
right,
just because I'm making money, that don't mean you're making money too.
right. But I guess the idea is like, how do you help people who think that there's no other way than to do what they've been doing? Right? If the only way somebody knows how to make money is through hook or crook, then how do you show them a different way?
Well,
Right?
you gotta sit down and have a conversation with them. Say, man, I notice you're really good at talking. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why don't you start up a YouTube channel, man? I think, you have a kind of like an electric personality. A lot of people gravitate towards you. I
Right.
know you can get a lot of followers, and man, once you get that YouTube channel started, you can start selling merchandise, man. I think you're kind of wasting your life out there in the streets, man. It's dangerous. Like, why not
Right.
make that same money and not have to worry about the cops kicking down your door?
Right. But the money comes fast. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait on ad revenue. I don't want to put in time on
Okay.
a video that might get demonetized.
Okay. So think about this. You might be making a lot of money fast right now, but how much are you going to be making sitting in a jail cell? And take that money you're making now, you're going to have to spread that out over the 10, 20, 30 years that you're sitting in the jail cell. And when you calculate that, you're probably making less than McDonald's.
Okay.
And realistically, that's not even your money. You're just touching
Right.
it for a little while. The police gonna take all of that when they arrest you, and you're
Yeah.
gonna have to start back over. Why don't you tell me right now, who are 10 like criminals that are just doing it super well in their old age? They came out of jail and they're just living a fantastic life.
I don't know. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure.
Yeah, they got to start over from the beginning. They don't
Yeah.
have anything.
No, you're not wrong. Unless they just got it like that, and I've never heard of them.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
I think we got to get more sort of mentality where, okay, there's nothing wrong with making slow money. I was working at a hotel making $11 an hour until I was almost 30.
Mm.
And then from there to now,
You just
I'm
grew up.
making well above that, well above that.
Right.
But I took my time and, You know, I didn't take any shortcuts. I didn't do anything illegal. So
Yeah.
it pays off.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, it's that investment of time, right? It's like
Yeah.
there's definitely days where, again, like I'm looking at like going for a run and working out and like I don't want to do this, blah blah blah.
Right.
There's no point. I'm not seeing results. But then, you know, I'll go visit my grandma and, oh, you're looking good, or
Right. Right.
I'll get a compliment from like an uncle, or I'll get a smile at the grocery store, or
Yeah.
you just notice little things, right?
Right.
And it's those little messages that sort of reinforce, like, okay, I'm doing something right. I got to
Right.
keep doing
Right.
what I'm doing, because if I don't, I know what the result is on the other side of the coin. Meaning, like, if I just stop taking care of myself, then
Yeah.
it gets all messed up, and my beard looks patchy, and I smell, and XYZ ABC. You know,
Yeah.
I can just keep going on and on and on. But self-discipline sort of shifts everything in my favor, right? There's no
Yeah. Yeah.
downside to self-discipline.
Right. Right.
Maybe being too disciplined, I guess you could say. There's a downside where like you shine too much,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you just got to be able to like shine just enough.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
shine just enough. Yeah.
The thing I had to do mentally was take my mind off of the reward or the end goal and focus on just enjoying the process. You know what I mean? Instead of saying like, "Oh man, I want to be 210 pounds or something."
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like, okay, I'm gonna enjoy actually doing these push-ups. I'm gonna find a workout routine that I enjoy. Like, okay, maybe
Yeah.
you enjoy playing basketball or something.
Yeah.
Play basketball instead of just running on the treadmill. Like, there's
Mm-hmm.
alternatives to, you know, just the normal way of doing things. It's like
Yeah.
just enjoy the process. Like once you get in the habit of enjoying it, you're gonna get the results, but you're not gonna be constantly like, oh man, I'm not seeing any progress. You're not gonna feel all discouraged when
Yeah.
things ain't happening as quickly as you wanted to.
Yeah. You don't have that negative self-talk. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's the same thing with programming too, man. You can't say, oh, I want to make six figures in 1 year. Like you never know when it's gonna be your time to make it.
Yeah.
But put
Yeah.
the work in and
Yeah.
it'll come to you.
It'll come out. Yeah. It'll
Yep.
come. You'll earn it. Yeah. And like every step that I take towards, you know, another interview or another chapter of a book that I read or another course that I finish, like it's all going to lead up to that big payoff, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's in a year or 2 or 5 or 10, the whole point is like you're taking those small steps to get to
Right.
that, because what you're doing is you're building a foundation, or
Yeah.
I see it as building a foundation for myself, right? Like uh like it just, I'd rather build a strong foundation than have a weak one
Yeah.
that somebody can poke holes in and be like, oh, he doesn't know this, or he can't do this, or he can't do that. Like,
Right.
and I'm not saying you got to be a perfectionist or whatever, right? Because there's definitely some people who are just sort of poking holes just to see the holes that they can poke.
Yeah.
But it's like you build up. I see it like once you get that self-discipline, like Bruce Lee said, like once he says, there's a quote that goes something like, be like water, right? Like water
Right.
doesn't, like it's not, even though you could stop water, right? It'll go around an obstacle, it can go through it, it can go under
Yeah.
or over, right? Like you necessarily don't want to get blocked by these negative experiences, or like if somebody's trying to poke a hole into your foundation,
Right.
like you, but like when you build that discipline of working out or eating right or drinking water or taking care of yourself in whatever way that you see works for you, you build that discipline, and that discipline just spreads into everything else in your life.
Right.
Like, I don't know how to explain it other than that, but it's like you just gain that confidence,
Yeah.
and that confidence just sort of lets you tackle any scenario, like almost to a crazy degree. almost like where you can just become like almost overly confident, right? And I think that's when you have to sort of dial it back. But
Right.
the long and short of it is like that. The point I'm trying to make is it all starts with like a foundation. It all starts with you and not putting that pressure, like you said, to try and be the best out the gate the next day.
Yeah.
Just working towards like that bigger goal, but making small steps towards it, and
Yeah.
then once you finally achieve that big goal, you won't even you'll look back and be like, wow, that didn't take long at all, or
Right.
wow, like that didn't even feel that long. Like, look, we're already in November of 2021,
Right.
and I could have sworn yesterday it was like March.
Yeah. Yep. Time is flying. But man, like honestly with me, man, I don't even make like hard goals. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because you're putting some too much on something that's kind of like arbitrary. Like, well, I want to
right.
make X amount and X amount. Okay, after you, what happens when you make it? What are you gonna do next?
Yeah,
What's the
yeah,
next goal? You know what I mean? Like to me,
yeah,
it's all about just creating good habits that are sustainable.
yeah, yeah. Because I feel like those good habits will take you further than like living for those hard goals. Because
Am I
you're
back?
yeah, you're back. My bad.
Okay. So you remember we were just talking about bodybuilders and all of that.
Yeah,
Like there's only so much weight that they can gain. You know what I
yeah,
mean? You haven't seen a 500-pound bodybuilders. Like at a certain point, you're gonna plateau.
yeah,
So, it's kind of like at a certain point, it's not even about goals. It's just about having a sustainable lifestyle where you're healthy. You know what I mean? So like, even when it comes to you studying, man, you know, you know, you wanna create good habits where you're still studying after you've gotten those six figures, so you fall off.
yeah, yeah. I've learned that where you see that came at a price. Like I knew React a long time ago, and
Yeah, yeah,
now not so much. But I'm getting back there, and I guess the whole point is like not to fall off
right,
what you're doing, because you'll spend more time trying to get back to where you were, and especially with like coding and stuff, like the game changes all the time,
yeah,
and you got to constantly be keeping up with the rules of the game, and yeah, man, you just don't want to fall off. I'm not saying you got to put hard goals and sort of like always stress out on being number one, but you just got to stay up to date as much as possible.
yeah, man. Honestly, as I get older, I don't even worry about what somebody else is doing. Like the reason a lot of people are stressed out is their whole thing is comparing themselves to others. You know what I mean? Like, well,
Hmm.
if I don't have muscles like him,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna feel down. If I don't have money like him, I'm. Well,
You're
what
breaking
what
up.
do you need? Why don't just have, man? Hello? Is it
Yeah, yeah, you're good.
coming back?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, I'm just saying like just make progress at your own pace and accept the rate of progress that God has given you. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like stop looking at what somebody else is doing. You're just gonna stress yourself out for no reason. And plus, you don't know if their results are real. Think about Instagram.
yeah. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong,
Like,
because
they these filters on their photos. I've even heard of people like they'll go to like those high-end stores, Versace and all of that, and they'll just go there and get the bag, and then they'll come home and take a pic. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Look at them holding the bag. So that's not
Hmm.
it. But you're trying to compete against that because you think it's real.
Hmm.
So you're competing against a cartoon, and you're wondering why am I never successful? Because you're competing against.
Yeah,
Saying so, it's just about bettering yourself every day and not looking at somebody else.
yeah, yeah. You have to measure your own success, like for
Yeah,
yourself, not for others, because everybody else is playing a different game. And once you realize that everybody else is playing a different game, then you can focus on your own game and just improve,
right.
yeah, and just focus on improving yourself.
Yeah, like my thing is like, why are you worried about the opinion of people that's not paying your bills? They're not. you. So why are you trying to impress the people? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Okay, man. I think we're at an hour and 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Sure, we could keep going, but I think it's probably smart to just sort of end it
That
here.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, StreamYard's starting to act up, so
Yeah.
tell them
Yeah.
it's time to get off.
All right.
On that note, man, peace.
Peace, man. Later.